All right, it's Monday, January 30th, and this is a special meeting of the Dayton Town Council. We'll take roll call. Mark?
Here.
Stan?
Here.
Ron?
Here.
Jen's here. Carla is not. We have 4 members present. Okay, first up is the utility/street job description that I sent all of you. We just need to approve that, and then also posting the job. We could probably do this all in one motion, just to approve this job description as it's written with this one change. And designate either Ron or I probably to get posted. Anyone want to make a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the job description for the utility person.
Okay, there's a motion made by Stan. Is there a second to approve this job description?
Seconded.
Okay, there's been a motion made by Stan, seconded by Ron. Is there any comment? Okay, this is for the approval of this job description. How do you vote, Mark?
Yes.
Stan?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
And I vote yes, so that's approved 4-0. So now we need a motion to allow somebody to post this job.
I make a motion that clerk treasurer or the president post the job description. Second.
Okay, there's been a motion made by Stan and seconded by Mark to get this posted. Is there any discussion? Okay, how do you vote, Mark?
Yes.
Stan?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
And I vote yes, so we'll get that posted as soon as possible. Chickens. So there's been a lot of talk about chickens, probably because eggs are so expensive. And I've had people contact me and say, hey, can I keep chickens? What's going on with that? So we just need to decide if we want to say, no, chickens are never coming to Dayton, or if we want to move forward in looking into allowing backyard chickens.
I say
And I'm okay with it.
we move forward by seeing what other communities have done with chickens in the community. I know there's a lot of interest in it, a lot of people want them. So, but I think we need to look at it, see if there's restrictions we need to put on it as far as if they cause an odor, or if they cause noise, or how many they can have.
And this is something that would be done with area plan because as it stands now, we can't have them because it violates the zoning ordinances. Just put that in there. What do you think?
I think we're a small town that, like a lot of small towns, they have chickens and a few animals. I think we need to limit them to no roosters, and we can check, like Stan said, what other towns do. I've seen it somewhat on that listserv when talking about it. They seem to limit the chickens like to 4 or 5 or so of them, and then have where somebody sort of, they got to keep the cages clean and sort of the odor away and everything. So we can check with you with other places right up.
What do you think, Mark?
I think it should be explored as well, but I think from the other end of that, you're going to want to make all these ordinances. So I think we're going to have to figure out how it's going to be enforced if we're going to do this. You say keep it clean. Who's going to determine what the odor is? So
There's sniff patrol.
sniff patrol. I don't know can we buy a monitor? I don't know.
Chicken odor monitor? I'll Google
Well,
it.
it goes in line with, we have ordinances that if people's dogs sit there and bark all the time, we, cite them. I mean, that's part of enforcement.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm all for allowing people to have some freedom.
But if this was a area plan thing, wouldn't enforcement fall to area plan?
Not if we opt out of area plan zoning, because we would have to opt out of that zoning to allow it in our town.
Can I just tell you
Your
how it
name
works?
and address for
Oh,
the-
I'm sorry. Cindy Marston, 49 Shady Lane, and how it worked with the horse ordinance, when the council did that, is that area plan had to incorporate it into Uzo, and they are in charge of the enforcement. So if you have somebody that has a horse on less than 2 acres here in town limits, it gets reported to area plan, and they're the enforcement body. Right, Scott?
That's what I would
That's
say.
my understanding.
Yeah. So I assume it would be the same way with chickens. If you have someone that's violating the ordinance, it gets reported to them, and they would be the enforcement body.
We just modified the Uzo is what we did.
Right.
We modified the Uzo to allow horses in town.
Horses on 2
Well,
acres.
that would be the same thing we would do with chickens.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah, they need to enforce this.
all right. We'll get looking into that. Okay, the last thing is stoplight letters. So at the last meeting, it was brought up about maybe, the town coming together and sending a collection of letters to NDOT, basically saying like, we know you said no to a traffic control device at this intersection, but we live here and we really feel strongly that it's needed, or whatever people want to say. So we need to decide if that's something that the council or like the town wants to kind of take on, like as a council or as a town. Is that something that we want to do? Or do we just let residents, I don't want to say sponsor it, but like take that on as a task? And I'm totally okay with the town like being the front man on this, because I don't think it's any different than like when the state wanted to, when they were doing all that construction down there and they wanted to charge us like so much money, and we were like, oh yeah, no state. Not that we like pushed back, but you know, we just told them we felt differently. Anyway, I think maybe it would mean more if it was like the town is sending these things and the town is like behind this.
Well, we could collect the letters in the town and be endorsed by the town council. That's the whole, say that the whole group of us is behind getting traction there.
Are you okay with that, Mark?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And the next thing then, so I'll put it on Facebook, I'll put it on the website. People can go door to door and ask their neighbors to write letters, like, hey, check this out, we need you to write letters. Also, do we want to put it on the bottom of the bills, or perhaps put an insert in the bills explaining what's going on?
I think we ought to. It probably costs $350, $400, but it goes to everybody in town and they'll see it. And it's like direct mailing it. You know, we need to take every avenue to get these people to write letters and get them to know about this.
So would the objective be to have them sign a letter, and then it would come here, and it would, once they were all collected, then it would be distributed from here? Is that the idea?
I think not so much sign the letter, but let them know, like, maybe NDOT did this study and they've done it multiple times and they've said no to us each time, but, like, we are, you know, collecting letters, doing this letter campaign to try to get them to reconsider. So if you feel strongly and you want to write a letter and be part of this, then write one and drop it off at town hall.
So it would be distributed through.
Yeah, but then, so we would mail them all at one time. A giant box full of them, because there's gonna be so many.
I thought we could talk last time about even having a few sample letters so people could.
Like maybe on the
Some people
website or something.
Yeah, yeah. but
Oh,
they
I
can
just
sort
mean
it
not in
out.
the bills though.
Yeah, you can put it on the website to pick up a sample letter at town hall. We could
Or
have,
put the sample letters on the website.
or whatever, however
Yeah.
you want to do it, yeah.
So do we want, I don't know for sure how much that costs to put inserts into, the bills. I'm happy to type something up to put, but do we want like a price limit on that? Like if they tell me, okay, this is gonna be $3,000, it's not, but,
It should be.
think it would be money well spent to try to get something done here at this intersection.
Okay,
Yes, everybody go for it.
yes.
Without knowing how much it costs, I wonder if it wouldn't be more cost effective just to send a postcard, using the, whatever the media
Oh, I know
mail
what you're talking
program
about.
is at the post office, and you'd have to have the postcards printed, but it's really cheap to send a postcard
Yeah,
to each place, and it might be more cost effective to go that route.
Why don't we okay a certain dollar amount and we sort of see what the costs are?
are you guys okay with doing either way, or would you rather have it in the bills?
That's fine, I mean, whatever way we get the message out, that's the object.
Yeah. One thing about the bills, though, is everybody gets one.
But does everybody open them? I mean, do
Okay.
they? I'm serious. I mean,
Right,
they
you
open
do,
them,
most
look
probably
at,
don't
look
have
at
to
the
open them.
amount, at the end of the month, look at the amount they owe and write the check. Because that's the way I always do. I never read anything on there.
Well, we can.
But maybe I was a weird
No,
one.
no, I'm talking about a letter. The letter you're talking about, okay? Not the thing that's posted down at the bottom of the bill.
Separate
Like,
letter.
An
I'm
insert?
like you, I don't know, that's kind of gets overlooked.
Yeah.
An insert?
An
Yeah.
insert,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So if you got an insert, I would assume that you might read it because you normally wouldn't get an insert with your bill, right?
Yeah, but you'd have to open it. Or the postcard, if you got a postcard, you wouldn't even have to open it. Maybe there's like a catchy,
Well, there's a lot of people that go, what's this thing?
yeah, I think either way, some people are gonna ignore it, unfortunately. Do you want me to compare prices?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta go,
If you have, even if we went and wrote up a letter and direct mailed it, I mean, even at full postage, it's under $400. Right, 68 cents.
Oh, I don't know.
Well,
Times
So-
530.
Well, I don't know
The-
everything.
so you're gonna have to have somebody to administer all that, right? The thing about the insert is, it's already addressed, it's already, it's going to an address. The only people who wouldn't get it who are the ones who just however that other payment situation is set up. That are there people who don't get sent one?
Oh, like yeah, I think that people, is it Dayton Co. where the landlords
They
pay
would.
the bill so they wouldn't get it?
Yeah, well, we could send them a separate.
I don't think there's very many.
I have a question.
Yes.
We're getting pretty well caught up on the road conditions around Dayton. Is there a possibility we could use community crossroads to buy our own? I mean, that is definitely the community crossroad.
Wait,
Dayton Road.
to buy our own what?
Stoplight.
I think you gotta have the state still approve
Yeah, I
it.
think, yeah.
I'm sure they would, but it seems like Subaru decides they need a stoplight, they put one right up. And I'm sure Subaru probably contributes to that.
We could check.
Interesting.
I don't
Maybe
know.
interesting to check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Or send them the letters first and see if we get any response.
Well, yeah, they might come back and say, sure, do it, but you're gonna have to pay for it, and then we have to figure out how to pay for it, or something, I don't really know.
Because I know the community crossroads, since there's never been a light there,
I don't think they pay
they
for
pay
like,
the 75% right now. I mean, we could probably pay it, but it'd be, I don't know, one time it was $75,000, $85,000 or something.
It's probably a lot more than that now.
yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be it, and you got it.
But we could check.
yeah,
We integrate sidewalks, of course, we have put some new sidewalks in where they didn't exist before, have we?
Only where there's road work going on.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I understand that.
What was your question?
yes.
We were saying that there has to be existing something there to fix, and we
Right.
put in sidewalks in conjunction. That worked there before in conjunction with a road project, but just maybe a question to ask the engineers or something.
Do we want to put a deadline on this? I mean, yes, we do need a deadline for this letter drive. I feel like it can't be so long that people just put it off, like, oh no, I'll get to it, and then they never get to it. But I don't want it to be so soon that people can't get to it. And if it's going in the bills, they won't even get those until the middle of February.
No, we could put one on.
Like the end of February?
Yeah, that'll work.
What do you think, Mark?
Well, I'm thinking you haven't decided exactly what you're gonna do yet, so I don't know how you put a deadline on it.
Well, somehow we're gonna collect these letters, right?
So, but you haven't decided if you're putting in a flyer, an insert, if you're doing a postcard, doing direct mailing.
Well, I would think that the latest they would get it is if we put it in the insert. In their bill. Right?
Again, it depends on how long it takes to, if you're gonna have to address every one of these and
We wouldn't
address
have,
every postcard, how,
we wouldn't have to hand address them, all of them. There's a way to extrapolate all the
just
addresses from boys and just print them on.
To a PO, just to PO box.
No, like, go through
Actually,
boys
you
and
can-
everybody that
there
gets
you
a
go.
bill, get their
I think
address
you
and
can
print
do
them
that.
on.
Remember what
Yeah,
that
but-
mailing.
Assuming that, you can probably do it for everybody who has a PO box here in town.
Yeah, but Bigger Farms doesn't, I feel like those people are gonna care.
Yeah,
But I think we could just print them onto address labels. quickly.
okay.
Yes, I'm sorry.
I was just going to tell you that if you use that bulk mailing thing, you don't need addresses, you put box holder.
Yeah, but not everybody has a box
You
Okay,
can
so
do
you'd
those
have to
separate.
sort out the ones
up
that,
there and that way, I know though.
yeah, that, I think the majority probably have a box.
Yeah.
So you just have to figure out the ones that do not have a box and mail those separate.
You know, the people.
But
up
most
in
people would have a
26,
box.
Here too.
Right, on
Fisher
38.
Storm, and then the duplexes up there.
Mhm.
But, you know, we put deadline at the end of February, that's a month.
I don't-
You
Do you want more?
By our next meeting.
No, that's interesting.
Okay, so the deadline is when they have to respond by?
Yeah, like have your letters here. Like drop them in the slot or,
Well, I think the people, I think the insert is probably the better way to go. Everybody's gonna get one, right?
yeah.
Everybody's gonna get one. And so everybody has, and so then you make your deadline the same as when your bill is due. Okay? That's it. So by the end of the month, do the insert, have it done by and have your response by the end of the month, and then that way you don't have to worry about, figuring out who didn't get one or whatever. Everybody,
If we do the insert, can we just make that the letter that they return?
Yeah, but that would be hundreds of the same exact letter. It's gonna be more impactful if
Yeah.
there's thought put into some of the letters. Not that we can't give them examples that they can get, but, and the letter can say, like, there are sample letters on the town website that you can use or whatever.
well, if you were, if there was a petition, not everybody would write out what they wanted to say in the petition.
Right.
The petition would be, this is the idea, or do you agree with it?
Right,
So it's the same thing with in my mind, it's the same thing with form letter, because otherwise you're liable to have a lot of people who just aren't gonna take the time to write out a letter, you know, that aren't passionate enough about it, but would still like to have it done, and then their voice won't be heard. So, it's either way.
Like, I can't speak for NDOT because I'm not NDOT and I don't know how they think and I don't know who makes these decisions or how they think, but I've seen some petitions and it's just, and I think Alicia even said, like, it's real easy to sign your name on a line, but it would be more impactful. Like, I feel like 10 signatures is not gonna have as much impact as one letter that was written from a person that,
I totally agree with you. I guess it's kind of a crapshoot.
Yeah.
See what the participation level would be, but
Yeah.
I do agree with you that somebody actually takes the time to write it down, then that will be more impactful. So if that's what you want to do, then that's fine. I mean, I think we're gonna probably sign a letter,
yeah,
right?
yes.
Then, you know, there will be some people who will write a letter,
Yeah.
you know.
Can you say your name and address for the record?
Nancy Oswald, 762 Shady Lane. I like Mark's idea. That way people can just sign off. And in the instructions, you can tell them they can leave any additional comments they want. So there you get a personal input. Because you're wanting to have all this paper, so that way you're still getting the paper, and they can still put in additional comments if they want to make it a little bit more personalized.
So each person brings that letter back, and they've got it signed, and if they want to add comments, they add
Write it
the
on the
letter.
bottom.
So that'd be a good, that's a good one.
That's a great one. Or, if you wanna write your own letter, write your own letter too.
I just feel like if we, like, how much more work is it for them to go to the website and click a sample letter if they don't want to write one? Because then at least NDOT's not getting 200 of the same letter, they're getting 50 of 4 different letters. I don't know.
Give them the option.
And
you can
if
have
we
that
do
on.
that, then the price of the insert's gonna go up because it won't be one letter, it'll have to be 2. It'll have to be something explaining why they are getting this letter and then the actual letter. I don't know if that matters. Does anybody?
Can't you just put
Can
some,
it have like a paragraph on top that says we're, some generic paragraph that they signed saying we want a stoplight, and then additional comments below, so NDOT gets a letter for each person that signs their signature, but hopefully a lot of them will have those comments. They'll say
But in your bill, we're gonna have something explaining why they're getting this letter addressed to NDOT.
No, that's in the paragraph at the top of it.
So they're
I
signing,
see what you're saying. You're gonna have a letter you're gonna send, but you wanna have instructions to go along with that, right?
yeah, because how many people have no idea we're talking about this? They're gonna open their bill and they're gonna be like, what's this?
So,
What's this letter
so,
do? I don't
so
know.
make it, so put them both on the same piece of paper, instructions at the top and the
Yeah.
other stuff at the bottom, and then cut the paper in half.
Or let them have room to write their own comments after they
Right.
sign it and everything. I would think if they could sign the top and then have comments, they might at least write a sentence or two.
And then I can't cut it off because somebody wrote their comments at the top instead of the bottom, and then I'm sending the whole thing to
Just
NDOT.
send the whole thing at more bulk.
Yeah,
You wanna
we
send
need,
it-
we need full pages, so it seems,
You wanna
but,
send it to-
Instead of the council getting into the nitty-gritty details, could you maybe just approve a dollar amount and then designate, probably Jen, because Ron isn't good with letters. But to facilitate the whole
What she said.
program.
I think she said that we're gonna put you in charge of this, you and Mark are gonna handle this.
There'll be some verbiage there.
We're gonna need more.
So, I mean, are you willing to spend like $500 or $1,000 or $3,000? I mean, what are you willing to spend?
I think 500 is a good number.
Yeah.
So if it cost $2,000 to do a letter in with the water bill, but $450 to do a postcard, you'd want to go with the postcard.
Yeah.
What,
We'd think about it.
See, so those are things that if she just has a dollar amount, you guys don't need to.
Well, so here's the other thing. We need to find out, we don't have all the information we need to really make a decision right now. And this isn't like, you know, if we don't get this thing out by the end of the month, that there'll never be a stoplight there, right? So why don't we find out the information of what's gonna cost to do an insert? And then when we have a regular meeting, then we'll have that information, and then we'll be better informed as to how we wanna proceed. And then if we gotta if it has to go off another month, then it goes off for another month. Nothing is really gonna have changed in a month, or 2 months.
You might surprise us and put a stoplight.
we just all wake up one day and there's a light there, stop signs or something.
And look at all the money we saved.
They tore down the pizza place and there's a roundabout.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that, yes, Stan?
What?
Is that what you wanna do?
What,
Are you
wait?
good with that, waiting? Yeah.
I would rather see it go forward right now with a dollar amount that we could say, and get the ball rolling on it.
What do you think? You wanna wait and get prices and see?
I think we could okay the idea of what we're doing, say we'll okay 500 or 600 that we're all agreeable to, and if it goes over that, then at that time, we can't fulfill our obligation, then we go at the next meeting and bring it up, add more to it, but I think you could postcard or direct mail or insert everybody in this town for $500-600, easily.
But I think, I don't wanna speak for Mark, but I think what Mark's saying is, he thinks the insert would be the better way to go, but we don't know how much an insert would be, and we don't know how much a postcard would be, so it's hard to say like, yeah, I want the insert, well then,
Okay, first of all, do we want to forget the price, is a postcard going to be better, or is an insert going to be better? I thought we were saying earlier that an insert might be a little better with their bill.
I don't know, I think it's hard to tell, because some people might literally just throw their bills away, because they like auto pay, or because it gets taken, they might never open the envelope.
Well,
So like maybe a postcard would be eye-catching, because I don't usually get a postcard from the town of Dayton with a giant stop sign or a picture of Ron's face or whatever on it to catch their eye and have them read
I
it.
think most people are going to open their bill up
I think you have a lot of faith in people, Ron.
and look at it, but I think a lot of people take postcards and stuff like that, that glance at them and throw them in the trash chute there too. Because they think they're gimmicks or
Yeah.
whatever, so.
Yeah.
I just had an idea that might save the town money. Stan has this really nice sign
Your big
that you can
board.
put letters on that you could put out in front of Dex Unlimited here. And you could come up with some kind of wording about stoplight letter drive or
In
for www.dayton.in.gov for
Check your
details.
money.
Check your
No, go to the
monthly bill.
website. Everybody can go to a website.
Yeah. Or something like that.
That's good, I think you could do something like that, but I still think.
I mean, who's not gonna see that though?
Right.
Everybody's gonna see it.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people come in north of town, never even come down here too,
They gotta go to
They
the
get their
post
mail.
office. Yeah.
They gotta get their mail.
Okay, but you don't wanna send an insert or postcard or anything, if you have that sign, you're dependent on that sign.
The sign and media, social media,
And word of mouth.
website.
Okay, some
because-
people, I'll tell you this much, Mike Harris never comes down to this four-way stop. People like them that live up there, a lot of times, they never come down here.
I disagree. He
Okay.
comes home that way. down Dayton Road. He comes home down Dayton Road, he exits the backside of
Well, that's,
Subaru.
okay, he's changed his
I
route.
pass him every day. Not every day, occasionally.
So do you, even with sign, you don't want to do any other kind of mailing, or?
I get my
Are you getting in overkill? I mean, I don't care if you wanna spend the money, but if you got it on the website and Facebook,
Literally bright
And-
lights.
and maybe call up WLFI and tell them we're having this letter drive and see if you can get some, right, Nancy?
And you know what I
But-
just
Yeah.
thought about with that sign there? Like, because we're focusing on Dayton residents, but other people that drive through Dayton might care about a stop sign here. Or a
Yeah.
stop light or a
I
stop
think the
something.
sign's a good idea, but I thought too, if people have a letter that all they gotta do is sign it and drop it off.
That's where the website comes in.
No,
That's what you-
no. A lot of people don't get on the website. I mean, it's already around this town on Facebook, but half of them are on one of the Facebook site, this site, they never get on the website or whatever, they're too lazy or something. I think it'd still be good that you, every avenue, you have them fill out, be able to download it from the website, or get it in their mail, or just look at this thing and make up their own message. You can do just the sign, but I think you're not gonna hit everybody, but.
So we put the letter insert, and instead of a second letter explaining it, we just let people call town hall and Bridget can just field all the calls. Why did I get this letter in my bill? Or we could put the explanation at the bottom of the bills that nobody reads.
You guys are overthinking.
I know.
Yeah,
That's
really.
what I said.
Mark and Stan,
Just
do you
give them
guys
a dollar
think
amount
that
and
we
be
should
done.
have more than just a sign out here?
Yes.
Okay. Mark?
Yes.
Okay, I'd say too. Jim?
Sign's a good addition to it.
Hey, Stan, can we use your sign?
Is Dex Unlimited gonna go for a sign in their drive there?
He,
I mean,
his brother owns that, yes, did it before.
I mean,
We'll be sure though to get it back 21.5 inches behind that
Stop it.
lot line, so nobody
Stop it.
complains about it, okay?
Okay, so
Now,
how much do you guys wanna spend?
How about we okay?
You want it in the bill,
I say,
and you want it in the bill,
I want it in the bill,
and you, okay, so you all want it in the bill. How much do you wanna spend?
$500.
What's the,
I second that motion.
okay. What motion?
Stan's
I
Stan's
make a
motion.
motion to spend $500 to get an insert in the water,
up to five.
up to $500.
Second.
Okay. There's been a motion made by Stan and then seconded by Ron to spend up to $500 to get the insert put into our water bills. Is there any more discussion? How do you vote, Mark?
Yes.
Stan?
Yes,
Ron?
Yes,
And I vote yes, so that passes 4-0. So,
on the sign, we need to get a new tire.
there's poke a hole in it,
I don't know if it went flat.
should be able to blow it up.
I
um,
think they tried, and they moved it to another spot, that would have been, we'd give them.
I don't mind writing the letter, but who wants to be the second set of eyes? Do we just want to just let Jen write the letter and you guys can all see it when it comes to your bill?
Yep,
It'll be a surprise. Oh, she did a great job.
you wrote some extremely good letters and I endorse them.
Thanks, pal. All right. Was that it then? Are we putting a deadline on this? Did we decide that?
Well,
It's going in the bill.
we'll get the sign up there, and then like Mark said, toward the end of the month, they pay their bill and everything, that'd be sort of a rough deadline.
Just say,
Okay.
return it with your payment, or drop it off prior to the end of the month.
What
Okay.
about people who don't pay their?
I'm done.
We're gonna have so many percent that's not gonna respond to it, and then there's some that's going to, so we just have to deal with what we get.
Okay, so we'll put the deadline. I don't know. other business before us. This meeting is adjourned.
You're in.
Talk about over.
Yeah.